Today is a Southeast regional meeting of all of the councils throughout the Southeast. Basically, we have heard very little except from the council in Robe, which has asked for a moratorium from the entire region to be put forward on a state level. By us coming here, it points up at a meeting of all of the councils in the entire Limestone Coast region that people are concerned.
We're trying to impress the mayors as they meet upstairs today to carry this idea a little further, to add weight so that eventually the politicians will come on side.
So this is the exploration phase. We're very fortunate so that we have an opportunity before they get in here on the production level to actually inform the entire region. And of course this goes from Keith all the way to Mount Gambier and from Robe on the coast all the way to the Victorian border. So it's a very, very large piece of property.
The whole of the southeast, as you know, is now under a water allocation plan. It's fully allocated. A lot of people have had reductions in their allocations, and it's working. And this includes forestry, the environment and everything. Now, I think everybody here be aware, but we've got to keep emphasising that the Mining Act overrides all of that. And they can come in and we're told take millions of litres out of we don't know how many bores.
Now we see the state allowing something that can contaminate the aquifer. Today the Vignerons Association of Coonawarra are being made informed that basically we're losing 15% of our allocation. The concern is that everyone who's worked on this water allocation system for now 12 years has been told that that the aquifer is totally allocated. And yet the mining companies come in and they get carte blanche. And they're using literally millions of liters to do the exploration and then hundreds of millions of liters to do the actual production if they get the green light from our state government. And everyone, of course, I mean, especially the Coonawarra Vignerons, are concerned about water quality. All of us export millions of dollars worth of wine overseas. And we have special protocols for Japan and for the European Union where they are so stringent about anything that might contravene the health of the people that purchase our wines. So water quality is of the utmost importance.
All the underground water, all the stock down here, they all drink from troughs, and all the towns here get their water from the aquifers, and so, you know, we don't get it from anywhere else. Fruit and vegetables are all grown with the aquifer water, and grapevines, they're all grown with that too.
Us as farmers, we're all under, there's regulations that we have to stand by. And that is, we've got to sign whether we've had spray drift, we've had chemical residues, and, you know, what's going to happen in these areas where you've got fracking and any mining activities that, as I understand, may affect our livestock, their water, anything that contains water, your water tanks, your troughs, anything can be affected. So, you know, if it's fair for the farmers to have to fill in these ticks, so should all the other industries be made to do.
The information that's coming out of the Freedom of Information Act now on what's gone on in the last 20 years is just absolutely amazing. And they're not allowing any flaring in the United States after the first of the year. And of course, the flaring, actually, when they burn off this excess gas, it basically carries all of those contaminants into the air. And it's beyond me when you see a well 2 kilometers to our windward side of Panola, you know, possibly contaminating the air of this little township, the oldest township in the state of South Australia. Again, I just don't understand why they're allowing to go forward what they are. In the United States, they have swarming earthquakes that are occurring because the ground that is being fracked is actually collapsing. And here we've had earthquakes. This is an earthquake-prone area with faults through it. We have cave systems, the national park here in Naracoorte. all over the terrain, you know. And again, what happens when the methane gas goes into these caverns and moves around, that type of thing. The health issues, as you've heard, we've got doctors on our alliance that are pointing out to us educationally about the carcinogens, all of the other things that are carried not only in the water but in the air. Birth defects, the emotional aspect of it, when people are stressful about what's going on, when you have hundreds of trucks going in and out, a surface infrastructure that is never discussed. It's those kinds of things that people have to realize, that it's going to be a spider web across this entire area, thousands of wells, and each well can be like an octopus under the surface. And they're going down here 4 kilometers, okay, 4,000 meters down. And then if they're given a production license and allowed to frack, they can go another 10 kilometers horizontally in any direction they want.
What gives the government and any other company the right to compromise our very existence on this beautiful part of Australia, the best part of the South Australia, and the driest state and the driest country in the world, and we're going to compromise it. And they can't say that they won't, because everywhere else it has been compromised.
It was only a few months after they started fracking in the Darling Downs. Another farmer, he had quite a good amount of water in his water bore. He relies on the artesian basin for his water. He was saying that ever since the mining companies came in with the industrial, what they call the invasive industrial gas fields, the water level in their aquifers are dropping so dramatically that he believes within 2 years there will be no water left in that water bore. He will have no water left for his stock whatsoever. At that time, he basically said, I'll have to walk away from this farm. One farmer, he doesn't even have any gas wells on his property, and his water's contaminated. His rainwater's contaminated. The land, the soil is contaminated. The air is contaminated. And he said, we never had any of these issues before the mining companies come along. There's so many stories of farmers that are living in these gas fields and their lives have just totally changed. Their livelihoods have been destroyed. If our water becomes contaminated, we can't go back. It will always be, you can't stop it, you can't change it. When the water's contaminated, it's contaminated and you cannot fix it. So we have to do something now while we've still got time.
And I don't think there's going to be too many people who'll be coming into the southeast and they get taken around the place and they know that the area is slowly being destroyed, but everywhere they look, they see these damn well rigs all up over the place. And that is going to do a massive, massive impact on the local tourism industry. We stand a lot to gain, and as you should be aware, tourism is a major part of this area's economy. And if it goes, that's another great big crack that will not be able to be fixed.
If the worst thing ever happened, at least I can say to my grandchildren, I was there and I tried to protect your water, your land, your health, the health of your children in every way and of yourselves is in jeopardy. You need to protect your grandchildren and the future generations.
The people in Adelaide, they have to understand that this is their aquifer also. This is going to be their food bowl for the future. This is where agriculture can move forward and produce the crops and the products that they're going to need. If our water is contaminated, they're going to have to go elsewhere for water and elsewhere for things that they're going to eat and consume. And so what do we have? We've got public opinion. That's what's going to really save the aquifers of the southeast. Public opinion.